Download the app. Yeah, right. Okay. Flipping heck. Hey, folks. How you doing? You all right? Friday night, and it's 7:03. I hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good week, and everybody is enjoying their evening or morning, actually, maybe even. Who knows? A few things to get through this week. Just one little thing I want to bring to thy's attention. Right, okay. Let me come back into here, and it's just the same, innit? Oh, mate, I need it. Okay, all right. Which one is it? That one there. Oh, okay. Right, yeah. So experiment number one was from 09 right departures from our western location, which is down by Longford Riverwalk. Last week. Well, actually, if you remember, if you were watching, obviously it it was, what was it, 3 days on the trot or something, Julie? Three streams on the trot. It was getting a little bit long in the tooth, to be honest. However, it was a good opportunity, or was it two? It was a good opportunity for us to test a theory, because I've always wanted, if you watch the show regularly, you'll know that I'm always trying to strive for better things certainly in terms of visual and audio. Visually, we've got it sussed. Audio wise, from all of our locations, more or less, we've got it sussed. However, this one position, since I've been filming here, it's always been a frustration of mine and a frustration of other people as well. It's always been a frustration of mine. These little Rode Go mics that we use, they're only tiny little things, which are where are they? Where are they? Eh? Oh yeah, yeah. They come in their own little pack. Basically, these are the most up to date ones, which come in their own little charging box, and of course you've got the receiver. Which comes on automatically when you take it out of the box, out of the charge box. But these mics, they've got a range apparently of around about, what did it say, 220 yards or something like that. So, but that has to be in direct line of sight. It can't be behind trees and stuff like that. So I was able to take it around as far as I could see my position where I was, to be able to run another mic, which was a little bit closer because the planes were obviously going away from us. So the sound is all in front of the planes, or at least down by the runway entry point. So we came up with an idea to put another mic further down, a lot further down, but the fact that we're not using the other mic, that we're not using, we're using a completely separate broadcast, another bond basically, which sends a signal with the audio, and Jilly basically puts it all together like that, interlaces it, I think, something like that. But anyway, again, another Rode mic that we're using. It's only a little vlogging directional thing with a nice, what they call a dead cat on the end of it. But it's worked, and I'm gonna play a little bit of it now, because I remember saying I can't wait to hear this back. And funny enough, I found the bit that I want to show you. So let me just quickly. I'll put. So it worked down at the entry point with the aircraft going away from us. But the next day, the conditions were supposedly going to be a lot clearer. It turns out they weren't. They were better than they had been in previous days, but on this particular occasion, it was still quite hazy. However, I thought, you know what? Why don't we just leave the mic down there, or at least put the mic down there and get it live, and see if it adds a little bit of extra spice to the stream. from the Hilton Garden Inn, because obviously from the Hilton Garden Inn, we're over 2 miles away on the top of a roof, basically. So I wanted to see whether or not it would work with the aircraft turning on. And I tell you what, it flipping well does. Let me just show you this. Share screen, London Heathrow Live. So this is from atop of the Hilton Garden Inn. And audio-wise, you should be able to hear it. Stand by. So this is, I think, an El Al jet going out initially.
Is Frankfurt.
Hear that noise? That's the baggage trolleys and small ULD trolleys. Basically, they got very hard wheels. They're like almost like nylon, so they just have little flat spots in them and all that kind of stuff. So they're never perfectly round. So that's why you get that noise. For everybody who keeps asking. Okay, here we go.
My speed is a great workout.
Now listen to this.
My voice is being drowned out by those. I don't know if they're CFMs on this 767 that's spooling up now.
It's coming over the top.
Susie Q sound upgrade is incredible. Wow,
Here it goes.
That's brilliant. I can't wait to hear this back.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, roll Americans.
So you still get to hear the other aircraft lining up.
Yeah. 32 brake piston actuators. Wow.
Well, that was Paula, wasn't it? Talking about the actuators, the brake piston actuators. We just had a Dreamliner, I think, that went out with a faulty brake. But anyway, you get the score of what's going on there.
And they're all electrically powered, those brake piston actuators, aren't they, Paula?
Lovely old 764. I don't think that's in 1080. I think it's a little bit grainy, isn't it? But anyway, it's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So that's that. Let me just close that off. But I tell you what I do want to do. If you just hold on a minute, I just want to check 09. Let's just try this. Hold on a minute. Okay, so obviously. Okay, I'm going to share this one. Hold on a minute.
Triple 79. So whether Boeing
listen to this.
are going to, at some point, because at the moment it's exclusively GE powered, isn't it, with the GE 9X engine. This guy looks like he's in a hurry. Look.
Okay, there's that howl, GP. That's what we've eliminated. That howl.
So it's got a window out, doesn't it?
Can you hear it? It's a bit like up on the even the slightest little bit of wind. I'd like to hear it. Coming around what? Really? Very, very. I tell you what. Here we go. No, wait a minute. It is the wind. It is the wind. Stand by. I'm telling you. Wait a minute. Let's go to the one with the last one we did. Oh, that was the last one we did. The noise from the engine. 5 days ago, 12 days ago, 9 days ago. Oh, blimey. So it's still there. That noise is still there then. that noise. Interesting.
Pratt & Whitney.
Let's just listen to it all up.
Possibly looking at doing something down at
I don't agree. I don't think that is
the B-52s.
The noise is too close, Julie. You stood there and heard a howl like that. Never heard that before.
Download the app, keep everything open so that you don't miss any notifications coming from us.
No, man, that's...
Sorry.
What? Okay, why is it really... It says HD on it. No. Look how cool that looks, man. Is there someone else saying it's on 480 then? That looks fine to me, mate. That looks absolutely pin sharp. No. That was on the other one. That was on the Hilton Garden Inn one.
Rouge Land is when pilots put on lots of blush for look fabulous.
A Rouge landing where pilots put on a lot of blusher and lipstick. What was that? Someone said that. Avro Arrow.
Yes.
Come on, mate. Flipping it. We got a show to do.
The HM7 on radar for Toronto. Look at these big old GEs.
Good job I'm not bleeding ATC, innit?
This should sound good.
Oh, it's one of their X330s, is it? It's another one gone then. Oh man, that is good though. That does sound good. I'm happy with that, mate. I'm happy with that. Nice. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Well, there we go, folks. So yeah, it's a little bit of trimming. I tell you what, Julie, I'm convinced I'm going to check another mic to make sure that because I don't stand there and there's this constant noise going on. But anyway, so anyway, there you go. That's what happened this week. But we had some fun, and what else did we do? Oh, went up to GoFundMe to see Christina and the crew up at GoFundMe in London. And we're presented with this. Oh, mate, that's me. We did a... So thank you. And that's all you lot as well. That's Big Jet TV's Christmas appeal for the Red Cross... Global Red Cross Fund. So anyway, in terms of the news this week, that's where we've been anyway. First one out of the box. So I'll get through these as quickly as I possibly can. As we know, we've got a pilot who's with us, Screaming Emu, who flies with JetBlue, and they're having serious issues with their GTF engines, the Pratt & Whitney GTF engines, off-wing average of 360 days amid widespread aircraft groundings. So it looks like, apparently, they're saying, get this is crazy. It's taken around about 360 days to complete. I tell you what, hold on a minute. Let me just show you that, because that's a beautiful image right there. Oh, mate, why does this come down here all the time? Okay, let me just see if I can. Oh, it's not doing that. Hold on a minute. Window. There we go. I think it'll be all right, won't it? If we share that window, Jilly, is that right? Does that work? Yeah, yeah. So interesting, isn't it? If you look at that, but what is even more interesting is the company executives warned JetBlue's most recent earnings call that the worst of its GTF-related groundings are yet to come. So basically, shareholders being told that they're hitting peak AOG aircraft on ground within the next 1 to 2 years. Says it's averaged 11 narrow-body Airbus jets, including A321neos, A220-300s, grounded for engine inspections and repairs throughout 2024. That looks like that's going to be a problem for JetBlue for quite some time, I tell you, along with other operators as well, operating the A220 and A320neos, A321neos that are powered by the Pratt & Whitney GTF. So all of those operators operating the LEAP engine, the CFM engine, which is the replacement for the CFM 56 engine, are not laughing, but maybe rubbing their hands a little bit, just to say thank God, or at least wiping their brows, maybe to say thank God we chose the LEAP engine. BA, I know, are one company that are thinking that as well. And to be honest with you, the volume of GTF versus LEAP engines, I think it's quite. I think it's slightly more GTF perhaps than LEAP engines. I don't know. Maybe someone can tell us on here, but not like the Rolls-Royce Trent 1000 issues with the Gen X engine, where I think it's like 70%, 60 to 70% of 787s are powered by the Gen X engine as opposed to the Trent 1000. So Rolls-Royce are probably, thank God. I mean, they've obviously got airlines like British Airways and Air New Zealand and all that who've suffered from it in the past, but are still continuing to suffer with it. So yeah, big problems there for JetBlue and other air operators using the Pratt & Whitney geared turbofan engine on their aircraft. Is an interesting thing that we talked about the other day, which was about. Let me just bring this up. Share screen. Couldn't see the what? Oh, sorry. Oh, that's funny. That's not really that funny, but okay. It's so flipping big. Right. Okay. I'll do it slowly. Yeah. I'll do it slowly. There you go. Thank you, folks. Thank you. And anyone from the Red Cross emergency relief what? Disaster fund, that's it, yeah. Emergency relief. It's what I need sometimes, isn't it? Not finishing a show. But anyway, yeah. So getting back on track, here's something interesting that we talked about the other day, which was the shark skin technology that's been around for some time now. Has to be said. Lufthansa Technik are the first people. Well, actually, they're the developers of it, and literally, this is crazy. It is a vinyl. It's a vinyl application, just like a sticker, but a blooming big one. Kind of what they do with when they apply vinyl stickers to aircraft for special liveries, because some special liveries like those the numbers, that kind of stuff, of obviously very high-end vinyl, and it has to withstand very cold conditions and very hot conditions as well. So UV resistant as well. So, you know, I mean, that's what happens is you see a lot of stickers, cheap, nasty stickers, fade from ultraviolet light. It's a bit like some clothing, black clothing. If you wear it during the summer a lot, it sort of like black starts to fade, the dye starts to fade. It's happened with my hats, ones that I've had for a good, worn continually throughout the summer, both on the golf course and also up on the top of the van. And when I'm about all day, I'm hardly ever have I got my hat off, to be perfectly honest with you. So yeah, this vinyl by BASF. You remember BASF tapes when you were a kid, folks, and you had a tape recorder, and the BASF ones were the best, weren't they? BASF? I don't know, whatever. But anyway, very high end. I think they're German. But these guys have, let me just share it with you. What the hell was that? Can I get rid of that, for God's sake?
No, it's part of.
Oh, delete video, it says.
Well, you can do.
Okay, right, okay. Sorry, folks. I was just going to show you the Lufthansa Technik. Now, even though they call themselves Lufthansa Technik, they're not just Lufthansa. Lufthansa Technik are a huge AOG MRO facility for not AOG, but aircraft on ground, of course. Yeah, but MRO, maintenance, repair, and overhaul, as well as everything else. But they develop a lot of stuff. They're well known in the industry for offering all types of maintenance, repair, and operation. And this is something that they created, or they're very clever scientists. Which is this one here. Okay, there we go. So, did they see the countdown, Jilly? Stop laughing, man. Okay.
We just gone straight back into it, and everybody on chat's like, "What the hell's going on?"
Yeah. Sorry. So anyway, these guys very clever. Not only shrinking your carbon footprint, but cutting costs on top. Basically, what this is, folks, is a shark skin surface, much like they've basically replicated shark skin technology and applied it to the vinyl, which is crazy. I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's a kind of a bit like when you apply print to a vinyl. There's layers of it and layers of it, and there's in terms of when you're printing T-shirts and stuff like that, or printing anything. There's basically layers and layers of it, but exactly what they've done here in terms of how they've applied it to the vinyl, I don't know, but it's obviously some kind of a system where they apply it and they have to wait for it to go off. But my big question here is, you see what this fella's doing here? He's basically applying it to the aircraft. Can you imagine the time that it needs to apply that vinyl round all the vents and all that kind of stuff? Now, whether they're doing it all the way around the whole hull of the aircraft, I'm not sure, or just the underside of it. But interesting anyway, because it says that it saves, just by using shark skin technology, the global fleet of long-haul aircraft could save close to 5 million tons of kerosene per year. The global fleet of long-haul aircraft, 5 million tons. Okay. Aeroshark is a durable bionic film that successfully mimics the skin of sharks and optimizes the airflow, thus enabling significant fuel savings. And there you go, BASF and all that kind of stuff. So in terms of, there we go, Aeroshark Effect. We've got Swiss, Austrian, we talked about the other day. They're using it. Lufthansa Cargo using it. LATAM, Swiss, EVA, and All Nippon as well. That's interesting, isn't it? 160,000 flight hours logged with the Aeroshark modification. 9,000, and this is LATAM. Is this? No, it's not. No, sorry. It's just that was a little bit off-putting there because the green bit came down. 9,800 metric tons of jet fuel already saved by the in-service Aeroshark fleet. 31,000 metric tons of carbon dioxide emissions have already been avoided. Well, I'm not going to go into all the numbers in terms of what is the total every year for the global fleet, but every little counts, doesn't it? Every little helps. Look, they're applying it to the engine cowling there as well, man. You what? Denticles. Okay. Okay. All Nippon Airways, first airline to quit both passengers and freighter versions of the Boeing 777. Wow. How long does it take to apply? Look at that. See? Look at that. You know what it's like putting a sticker on something, yeah? Especially something that's not flat. You've got to have a lot of patience because you have to sort of use tooling to I say tooling, it's just like a plastic sort of application tool to smooth it out so you don't get any air bubbles. Can you imagine how many bleeding times they're like, no, it's got an air bubble, got to take. Mind you, they prick it with a pin, so yeah, maybe, I don't know, but EVA is the first Asian airline having signed for modification with the drag-reducing and hence fuel-saving Aeroshark surface technology. Fuselage and engine nacelles. The aircraft's fuselage and engine nacelles. I'm just thinking, there's 4 blokes standing there, yeah? There's 4 blokes standing there. Can you imagine how long that takes to do? And that's like a meter-long piece of vinyl that they're applying there. Blimey, it must take forever. It's probably worth it though. I don't know. That's probably all comes with the charge. Swiss modifies entire 777 fleet. Wow, that's crazy. I had no idea. Lufthansa Cargo equips entire 777 freighter fleet. Shark skin technology. You don't see it, but look at that. Isn't that crazy? I'm just seeing how long. Let me just see. I wonder if Google will know this. How long has this been going on? How long does it take to apply shark skin to 777? Let's just see if it gets really confused. Shark skin vinyl. Let's see what it says. Aeroshark successfully rolled out to the entire Swiss Boeing 777 fleet. What is shark skin? What is the surface? What is it? Aeroshark. Each aircraft takes about 2. Oh, okay. Each aircraft takes about a week to have its Aeroshark film applied. Do you know what? That's pretty good going. I've got to be honest with you. That's a lot less than what I thought it would be. I wonder if they have some kind of a solution that they spray on first so that they can move it about a bit. I don't know, a bit like wallpaper, if you know what I mean. I don't know, but maybe they do, maybe they don't. But anyway, a week, that's not bad, is it? Oh, look at that. What do they call them? The Dettings or something, Jilly? Dettlings or something. There they are, look. Oh, look, you can see it's you can see it in the it's interesting. Oh, well, there we go. So another interesting piece of news there, folks. How about that? Fair play. Whether or not you could potentially, you couldn't create an outer sort of like skin on it during the manufacturing or assembly process in pre-paint process, but no, you'd have to put it on after because it will only get its full effect being on the outside and not under a layer of paint, I would imagine. So anyway, interesting stuff about that, eh? Let's just move that one out. Let's move. Oh yeah, this is a good one. I like this one. So last week we were talking about engines and how Airbus, and we'll get onto that in a minute, how Airbus have cancelled one of their programs for hydrogen fuel cell technology, cancelled one of them and delayed the aircraft for about 10 years. But what they have cancelled, if you remember, we've been quite active on this for a number of years since they first announced it, with their A380 bolting a fuel cell technology, hydrogen fuel cell technology engine to the side of their demonstrator, their 380 demonstrator. That's been completely cancelled. But we'll come on to that in a minute. But what is interesting, I was down at 09 on one of the shows, and you guys are just great with the way you come on and answer all the questions, whether you're Googling or not. I don't care. It doesn't bother me, because that's what I do to get most of my research and stuff like that. But what is really interesting is that I was talking about, there is another engine, and I couldn't remember what it is. But I basically described it as a fan engine existing currently, what you see with the core of the engine, with not as many compressor blades segments, certainly not anywhere near it, but because I think they're covered by a cowling. I think they're still inside the cowling. There's a core cowling, if you know what I mean. There is a core cowling around a normal engine, but I'm talking about the core of the engine having another cowling system completely enclosing it, which it kind of does anyway. But basically what they're doing is they're taking an engine like a big fan engine and doing away with the cowlings of the engine, exposing the fan itself. And I couldn't remember what it was, and someone came up and said he said, I tell you what, the CFM Rise program, and I was like, that's it, Rise, that's exactly it, and you're going to see it now. And this is a beautiful, a thing of beauty, folks, and something that we may have seen before, I may have shown you before, but it is absolutely beautiful. And there it is. Just make sure you can see it. You can see that, yeah. But there it is. Manufactured by General Electric. CFM, of course, who manufacture the LEAP engine, very popular engine now, especially with the GTF issues. But I mean, the LEAP engine, don't get me wrong, they've had their issues with the heating systems on the intakes of the cowls on the nacelles of the engines. They've got heaters that basically melt any ice build up or anything like that. But basically, for some unknown reason, I can't understand it. I still can't understand why CFM haven't produced something that basically shuts down once it gets to a certain temperature, or has been operating at that temperature for a certain amount of time, that it doesn't have any automatic shut-off system, because that would have been, to me, a very easy fix from a technical standpoint, or point of view, should I say. But anyway, LEAP have had their problems, but certainly nothing like what the gear turbofan with Pratt & Whitney are having. But isn't that a thing of beauty, folks? So there's the core of the engine, as you can see. My mouse is circling it there. These stator blades, I think they're directional blades, basically. I think they're movable, based on the base of the each blade there. It certainly seems to be on some kind of an axis. But they're basically saying, so this is April 2024, so it's quite some time ago. Shall we just play this out and see whether it works? Hold on a minute. Oh, okay. This is pretty cool, man. I like this. Okay. Is that going full page, Julie? Is that going full page? It has gone full page, yeah? Okay, here we go, folks. Let's watch it. How long is it? Get off there. 2 minutes 38. Okay, well, let's just watch it together, shall we? This is the CFM Rise program. Same people that make the CFM 56 engine, folks. Probably the most popular engine in the world. Doesn't look very high quality, does it? I like that. Wow, hold on a minute. 1978. New technologies to reduce noise and emissions. Well, they were like hush kits, weren't they? Look at that, the breakdown of it, folks. Look at the breakdown of it, man. But what was that last quote? Tested high bypass gear turbofan. Yes, indeed, 1978. That's when, the high bypass turbofan era kind of started. Look at that. I like it. So there you go, folks. This area here is the internal combustion part, the hot end of the engine that you find on current engines. Basically, if you look at the back end there backwards, that's where I think the combustor's probably down here somewhere. And there may be, I'd imagine, some compression blades in there, because obviously these fans are basically going to drive most of the forward thrust of the engine. This is basically going to be just to spin the front end of the engine, to keep the front end of the engine spinning. Apart from that, in terms of its forward thrust, forward momentum, I'd imagine that the main fan blade system is going to be responsible for that. Like it. Yeah. 1988. Unducted fan flight demonstration. Oh, wow. 1988. Blimey, on a GE36. Oh, okay. So, yeah, wow. Helped prove engine architecture. Improve, I would have no. Wow. Look, wait. Is that 727? Look at that. Hold on. That is a 727, man. Wow. Look at that. You can clearly see it there as well. You'll have to position the engine. You're going to do rear engine. I know that Embraer have been working on something like that. Wow. 1995. First complete composite fan. Wow. Like it. Wow. Look at all the people involved. British Airways. I like it, mate. First commercial biofuel flight demonstrator. Wow. Well, of course it does. We know that. I love it. Wow. Oh, yeah, there's going to be all sorts of special. Wow, look at that. Flight weight adaptive cycle engine tested. Wow, look at that. Look at that. So it does have compressor blades and all that kind of stuff. It has basically the same core of an engine, but there's no cowls, and the fans are exposed. Isn't that beautiful, man? Oh, look at that breakaway, man. Oh, yeah. Nice. 2-stage low speed compressor. Supercomputing used for airflow modeling enables high detailed aerodynamic and acoustic analysis. God damn it. Love that all. Megawatt class hybrid electric propulsion system test. Simulated altitude conditions of commercial flight. Wow. Wow. So did they say this? Sorry, was that sorry, folks, just simulate altitude conversion. Oh, mate, I've missed it. Hold on a minute. It's here. Hold on a minute. Sorry. This bit here. Megawatt class hybrid electric propulsion system test. Interesting. Okay, so they have an electrical version of it too. Okay, not hydrogen. Wow, look at that. So there's the drive. There's the feed from batteries, I guess. It's going to be a lot of batteries. Okay. I'm liking it anyway. Open fan architecture. Remember that, folks. That's what it's called. Open fan architecture. Please write it down because I'm going to forget it. At turbofan flight speeds. Now, the big thing is of course, when we hear the spool up of an engine, the and all that kind of stuff, I think because a lot of the noise that you're hearing is the blades hitting the speed of sound, the speed. So I'd imagine that if they develop something like this, you'll still get the sounds. So for all you 10-year-olds out there who are watching this, that probably aren't, but for any youngsters who are watching, you're going to get it in the future because I'll be pushing up the daisies by the time they get this thing fired up, I think. I like it. Do you like it? Conceptual design reviews completed. Nice. Oh, hey, wait a minute. What was that? Is that an example of it on there? Oh, look. Oh, look. Interesting. So that's the test bed, the 380 test bed. Images courtesy of Airbus. They were going to bolt that to the back of the aircraft, weren't they? But they've cancelled it. They've completely cancelled it, folks. Flight test planned this decade. Lower nose levels. Lower nose levels. You had to be there. Yeah, I like it. I think we all do. Everything's positive about it, isn't it? Everything's going down in terms of, you know, all that kind of stuff. How cool is that? I quite like the soundtrack to that as well. But there you go, folks. There you go. Let's just see what OpenFan. What? Yes, indeed. Next generation CFM engine could be available by the mid-2030s. Aidan Campbell saying. The next generation CFM engine, I think you'll probably find that won't be OpenFan architecture. I think that will probably be a modification to what they've got at the moment with the GTF and all that. I think mid-2030s. We're in 2025 now. Another 10 years. I don't know, maybe. But with Airbus, but mind you, Airbus was a hydrogen fuel cell technology. This they were looking at was probably more. I don't know though. If it's a CFM engine, and I would have thought that GE would probably put it on their jumbo, wouldn't they? Wouldn't you think? Because they normally do with their new engines, and that would look pretty cool, wouldn't it? What's the matter? An alarm?
You hear it?
No.
You don't? Okay.
No.
No?
Alarm going off. Oh, okay. So yeah, we'll just have to see how all that stuff plays out in the future, folks. But something that we should keep an eye on. It would be really good if we went down to Toulouse one day and there was one bolted to an aircraft, but I can't see it happening. But we'll talk about that with Airbus in a little bit. So that's that. Now, in terms of electrical power, pure electrical power, rechargeable aircraft, have a look at this. But we have talked about electrical flight, but obviously at this point in time, with the limited amount of technology we've got, or development of battery power. Oh, that's big going out, isn't it? We're quite limited to what we can do in terms of aircraft size. However, and this is something that you'll see at all of the air shows nowadays, especially the big trade show air shows, so to speak, where they Farnborough, for example, where they have all the big major players are involved in showing off their latest wares. And these guys, Vertical, I saw these. I saw you. at Farnborough. And no, it wasn't Farnborough. It was Paris, that wonderful place that I went to. What a nightmare that was. What a bleeding nightmare that was. Got some good footage out of it though, but have a look at this, folks. This is we're talking about taxis basically, and this is the sort of thing we're talking about. This is the VX4 from Vertical. Now there she comes into land there, much like a VTOL aircraft, like a helicopter, but with forward motion as well. The props can be turned on an axis. Battersea to Heathrow, 12 minutes. Well, I mean, if you've got the money, then I'd imagine that initially it's going to be quite expensive. But isn't she beautiful? Isn't she beautiful, folks? I like that website, Julie. I like the way it scrolls like that. Our commitment to safety, certified to stringent safety standards, basically it will be, of course it will be, same levels required of commercial passenger airlines, because this thing's going to be flying over populated areas. But obviously they'll have some form of a backup in terms of redundancy for batteries and so on and so forth. So if one battery system goes down, the other ones. But look at that, Rolls-Royce engines as well. Isn't it lovely? Eh? You like that? Wouldn't want to take that in the paddock, would you? Get that all munched up by the flipping. I quite like that. Yeah, yeah. Look at the big blades as well. Look at those lovely big carbon blades. Looks like a single pilot. The joy of flight. The interior captures the essence of electric flight, combining innovation, materiality, and considered design. A space to relax, stay connected, and enjoy the view. Yeah, definitely. When it happens, flexible flight configurations. So she'll take freight as well. 4 passengers, 1 pilot. Like that. Look at that. Hey. Good, innit? Tilt shift propellers, carbon fiber composite construction. Of course it will be. And they've got a mock-up of what, actually I think they've flown it already. Low noise signature, refined acoustics and aerodynamics, minimize noise in hover and cruise, making it virtually imperceptible in urban environments. Imperceptible. I like that. Nice. Yeah. Flight control system. We've partnered with Honeywell to install their world-class avionics and flight control systems. That's what they're probably the best known in terms of that. All digital for performance upgrades and enhancements over time. I like it, folks. I would get one, not buy one, but I would get in one. I trust that, to be honest with you. Once, obviously, the thing has been proven in terms of its longevity, and the thing ain't going to conk out halfway to Heathrow. The X4 aircraft will meet global UK CAA, EASA, SC VTOL enhanced category certification standards, the same level of safety as current passenger airliners. So there you go, folks. How about that? That's the future of very short haul, sort of like, well, what would you call it? Because you've got domestic, haven't you? You've got internal domestic. But what would you call this? Because at the moment, it's almost the same as a taxi, isn't it? Because it's 100, air taxi, isn't it? It's 100 miles, I think it's got. But look at that. We're changing urban transport, and change takes collaboration at every level. Meet the top tier partners working to design electric air mobility and to bring our shared vision to life. So there we go. AirAsia, American Airlines, Japan Airlines. Totally understand Japan Airlines doing it. There we go. How about that? Bristow, I like that. Gol, I think they're Indian. But what about that, eh? AirAsia, Air Greenland as well. How about that? Look at this battery power, taking charge of advancements in power and storage at Vertical Energy Centre. And there it is, folks. So these are the cells here. Blending experience from the European Space Agency, Airbus, McLaren and Dyson. Right, we're just going to take a quick detour. We've got to do some hoovering. Where are you going? Our VEC team developed our proprietary battery technology. He's a great guy, that fella, isn't he, Dyson? He's a very intelligent bloke, even though he moved out of the UK and took his technology and all his manufacturing and assembly out of the UK. Probably a reason why, I'd imagine, because Gola Brazilian, are they? Thank you. Who said that? Sue Ho. I thought urban transport was electric scooters and bicycles and other modes of transport. Molicel supplies cylindrical cells to achieve the high power, low impedance and fast charging required to make VX4 flight possible and practical. Propellers, look at that. Cutting edge carbon composite engineering. Isn't that beautiful, man? And powerful, predictable performance. That is all coming, by the sounds of it, from Rolls-Royce. Well, actually, maybe not the props, because I know that the props are there's a very successful prop manufacturer makes the props for the Hercs, the A400Ms, maybe certainly did the Lancasters and another. Let me just have a look. Famous propeller manufacturers. Here we go. Hartzell, Macaulay, de Havilland, GSC, Austral, and CJR Propulsions. Not one of those is the one that I thought of. Doughty propellers. There they are. World leading propeller manufacturer that offers MRO field support. Interesting that there are so many other ones. Hartzell, global leader. Macaulay Propeller. De Havilland Propellers. That's pretty cool, because De Havilland are an English company established in 1935. But how about that, folks, eh? Isn't it beautiful? Nice, like that. Compliant, vertical. Honeywell elevates the control and experience of the VX4 with the flight control system compliant with aerospace cybersecurity. I think it's going to be a long time before Uber gets hold of these, put it that way. But anyway, there we go, folks. I think that's a fantastic little future for anybody who's looking to get a cab from Heathrow to the middle of London in the future, because it'll definitely take you a lot less. From Heathrow, what would you reckon, Jilly? Heathrow to, what was it, Battersea or something? Yeah, it's Battersea, isn't it? The helipad there. Heathrow to there on a busy day, an hour? Yeah, at least an hour. It's not that far, but at least an hour. So here's another interesting thing, folks, that that we're going to get onto with the airport in a little while, if you can stick with me. I'll just show you quickly the layout for today's show in terms of the freighter talk. Don't worry, I'll be taking this out of the way. But basically, we've got a good lineup of freighters there, and one in particular down there, bottom right, is the A350 freighter. So that's an interesting subject that we're going to get onto in a little bit, if you can stick with me. But what is interesting is that hello, what is that? Oh yeah, Airbus have actually announced a delay to the freighter, the A350 freighter program, which is obviously a little bit of a shame, because we were hoping to see it in flight, possibly maybe as early as the end of this year. But Airbus to delay the new freighter as A350 problems linger, sources say. I don't think this is much to do with the certification process. I think it's more to do with supplies of components and so on and so forth. Airbus to delay the A350 freighter amid supply snags, sources say. So there we go. May not raise A350 output above 6 months this year, sources say. Well, they definitely won't. Oh, A350 output above 6 a month this year. Okay, interesting. So Airbus still hopes to reach 2028 goal of 12 per month. They say, wow, that's a big call, isn't it? You've got to have some major output in terms of facilities, production lines, literally 12 a month. Wow, that's going bullish. That is. Airbus declines comments ahead of annual results on Thursday. But there we go, folks. Don't need to really talk about it much more than that. Other than that's a real big shame and a big hit for Boeing. For Airbus. Well, probably a big thing for Boeing. Actually, it's given them another year's grace. And I tell you why. Probably Airbus have done that is because they need to concentrate, obviously, on their existing orders for A350, 900s and 1000s. And obviously continue the certification process behind closed doors of the A350 freighter, because they only need a couple of demonstrators, don't they? It's not like they need to build 6 or 7. They've all Starlux and other people, lots of operators have ordered the A350 freighter. I think about 50 on order at the moment, or is that a little bit being a little bit selling them off a little bit, because I'm sure it was more than that, because Boeing have got about 400 orders for the 800, I think. Let's just see if anybody's got any information on that in terms of the order number, the order numbers. But yeah, there you go, folks. That's a bit of a shame, isn't it? With what's this? Oh, okay. Well, this will be quite an interesting one for a few people to get involved. People who like their military stuff, and especially like seeing the red arrows. But
the issues are down to Spirit Aero. There's an article on Simple Flying discussing it, says James.
Okay, James saying it's a lot down to the Spirit Aero systems. There's an article on Simple Flying discussing it. Okay, well then in that case, yeah, that is a component. And Spirit Aero systems is another big thing that Airbus are having a problem with at the moment, because Boeing have confirmed the purchase of their arm of Spirit Aero systems. There is an arm that Airbus use, of course, for the A350 fuselage as well. So there may be delays there as well, but there are other delays, especially with engines, folks. It's not just down to, obviously, if there's a delay at Spirit as a result of the backlog that they've currently got, because obviously they supply Boeing as well with the 737 fuselage. So they've got to keep both parties happy at the moment. But Boeing have bought their part of Spirit, so they will be under their control. And Airbus are very quickly trying to also close that deal so they can get the other half of it. And portion it off to themselves. But obviously it's a big logistical task in doing that. And also the other thing that Airbus have got a problem with is the A220 wing, which is manufactured and assembled in Ireland, which is a part of Spirit Aero Systems as well. So that's all a big headache, put it that way. We think we've got troubles, but I tell you what, somebody like that, having to wake up to that every day, blimey, I wouldn't fancy it. Yeah, so there you go. The A350 basically is on hold in terms of its release, but they will still continue building it and getting up to a demonstration, a full aircraft that they can certifiable aircraft. And I'd imagine they'd have to have at least 2, wouldn't they? I know Boeing have got how many, 3 or 4 of the 777-9? Spirit Aero make the centre section for the A350, James states, and yes, they do, which is probably one of the most important, well, not important sections, but, because it houses the whole, the wing, because the wings on the A350, they're carbon, and they're literally bolted onto the side of the aircraft. The hull itself comes out with no wings on it, or the wings are attached during the final assembly procedures. But I've seen an A350 being wheeled around Toulouse somewhere with no wings on it. So it just goes to show. But but that particular part of the aircraft is a very strong component because it's got the wing root in it and all that kind of where all the undercarriage go up underneath it as well. I think there's 4 segments to the 350 fuselage. I think the rear section is manufactured in Spain, front section maybe in Germany, mid section with Spirit in where is that, mate? Where is that, Wade? Where is the Spirit Aerosystems? Let's just put Aero. A350 fuselage segment built. I think it's in America somewhere, isn't it? Central fuselage section of the Airbus A350 is built in Kingston, North Carolina, and then assembled in Saint-Nazaire, France. Okay, interesting. So the components are sent from North Carolina. Built. Okay, interesting. So that's a complete carbon segment as well. Again, another thing that they've done very cleverly there, folks, is the way they make these sections together. Very, very clever, because we're talking about it has to be absolutely plumb perfect. Maybe 1 micron or something like that out in terms of because otherwise if it's slightly out of alignment it's not going to work, is it? But anyway, enough about that. The A350 program is unfortunately in terms of its release on hold, but I'd imagine that we'll probably see that aircraft at Toulouse somewhere towards the end of the year, being wheeled around or maybe just parked up somewhere. Or when you fly in and you're on the right runway and you get to look down at not the delivery end, but the sort of like flight line, I call it, where the blast walls are for engine testing, ATR's facility down there, and you can see all the aircraft that are sort of like in sort of like readiness for flight testing and so on and so forth. They've got their engines on them. They're basically ready. Some of them have got tail livery, but no final body livery. But anyway, also all the family flight aircraft are parked up down there as well. So we might get a glimpse of it. You never know. I'm sure that as soon as it's wheeled out, there'll be photography all over it. There'll be videos and photographs coming out of everyone's ears. And we look forward to that as well. Aidan Campbell giving delivery filings showed that the end of 2023. Okay, well, we don't really want to know 2023. More want to know about 2024. But yes, the output of aircraft at the moment is affecting everybody for many different reasons: financial, engine issues in terms of deliveries. Delays with that, delays with raw materials to manufacture the engines, delays with material, fabric to make the seats and all that kind of stuff. Delays as in, they just can't get hold of it. Raw materials to manufacture all that kind of stuff. So you think of the amount of components that go to an aircraft. If one of them is missing, they can't deliver it. I mean, Virgin, we had a Virgin jet that arrived and they put all the seats in themselves. I don't know quite what that was all about, whether they sort of like decided that they could do it themselves. But fair play, it arrived with no seats in it, which was quite interesting. Actually, I think it arrived with the economy and maybe even the premium economy seating, but not the business class up front with the lay down seats and all that kind of malarkey. Right, okay, off of that subject, the iconic red arrow, folks. And sorry about all the adverts. Flipping adverts everywhere, look. The latest Gloucestershire live breaking news on WhatsApp. Gloucestershire, brilliant, isn't it? The RAF's renowned red arrows may soon be replaced as their iconic BAE. There's some interesting numbers here, folks, by the way, which you wouldn't think is just amazing. £85,000 a week or something like that. BAE Hawk T1 aircraft became increasingly costly to maintain. That's why, because it's despite still attracting crowds wherever they perform, the aging fleet, many of which are over 50 years old, has seen maintenance costs skyrocket from 13.3 million in 2020 to a staggering 27.7 million last year. 70% increase in just 4 years. 27.7 million. The hefty rising sum, which averages out at 84 grand a day to maintain these aircraft. Obviously, they're. I think they're still used as training aircraft as well. So it's not just about the bleeding. It's not just about the Red Arrows themselves. But anyway, isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Let's have a look. A newer model, the T2, is used for training pilots in fast jet flying before they progress to Typhoons and F-35s. Okay, so the T2 is not old. Let's just have a look, shall we? BAE T2. Is it still called a Hawk? I'm guessing. There we go. Go to images. Yeah, it's been around for years. But they're just updating it. All those shots, man. That's great, isn't it? It's a perfect pilot training platform, isn't it, man? For jet fighters. And then you go on to the Typhoons and all that kind of stuff. So how cool is that, folks? How cool is that? Oh, hold on a minute. Did you see that? Did you see that page come up? Did you see that page come up? The one with the Hawk T2? Hold on. There you go. So that's what we're talking about, folks. Very similar to the current Red Arrows, but obviously a highly modified one, which won't cost them 85 grand a day. That's insane, man. And to be honest with you, it's a little bit unfair on the taxpayer, isn't it? Or is that all coming out of the military budget? In which case, it's like, really? Flipping heck, man. You know, 50-year-old, that's probably why, and it's like having a load of bleeding Mark 1 escorts, for crying out loud. But anyway, whatever. It's just like, just pour the money down the drain, why don't you? You know, God blimey. We ain't got any money, have we? Useless. Okay, global aerospace firm turns to India amid Western supply chain crisis. Interesting bit of news, that, folks. Don't get me wrong. I know that India have been a supplier to many different industries for many, many years. But interesting that now the likes of Airbus and Boeing are turning to India for actually Airbus, Collins Aerospace, Pratt & Whitney, and Rolls-Royce are expanding parts sourcing from India, driving growth in the country's emerging aerospace sector and pushing local firms to elevate their games, insiders say. In other words, you better get on with it and step up. Otherwise, you're going to lose our business, and we're going to go to India. And you can get things cheaper from India, can't you? So here's an interesting thing. The whole boom supersonic thing, folks. I know we've talked about this. I know we've talked about it. And I know I've been a little bit critical of it in terms of, like, you know, but they are making progress. They've built a bleeding assembly line, and this is the XB1 demonstrator. The only thing I say is it's just a bit, when they say boom is supersonic, well, the engine is, because that is a test bed, isn't it? That's the XB1 program testing I'm sharing it. Testing the boom engine. Now, the whole thing with the boom project is, I've got to be honest with you, or overture, as we should call it. Okay, there she is. Very interesting, lovely looking aeroplane. And you know what? What is interesting is that it doesn't have a droop nose like Concorde did. And you know how they do that? Very, very simple. They've got cameras underneath the nose, which gives them a perfect... they basically fly the aircraft as they're landing. They'll fly it by the cameras, which is not a problem. My big thing here, I've got a little bit of a problem with, folks. Those engines are a little bit exposed, aren't they? Are they going to be able to withstand the sort of shock waves that you get with, you know, I mean, they're just hanging off flimsy sort of like pylons at the moment, aren't they? I mean, it looks lovely. Don't get me wrong; it looks fantastic. It's, I mean, they're boasting that it's. Oh, hello. Overture will get you to global destination for two times faster with orders from United Airlines, American Airlines, and Japan Airlines. I kind of rest my case. But is that sort of like letters of intent? I would imagine it would be, wouldn't it? Get it right, and we'll, oh, wow, have a look at that. Symphony, turbofan engine purpose built by Boots. See, this is it's not a jet engine, it's a turbofan, which they are claiming that they will be able to fly supersonic above land, over land, but not have the sonic boom. Super Factory, which is what they've done. Building the supersonic future. Yeah, I don't know. Look at the engines, man. I don't know. It just looks wrong, doesn't it? I mean, I kind of. It's a big aeroplane as well, isn't it? Look at the big old triple undercarriage. Looks like 777 undercarriage. Looks quite beefy, doesn't it? Do you remember America's first try at before when they wanted to do an SST? It sort of it went up the wrong way, basically, in terms of never even reached any sort of like test stage or anything. I don't even think they built one other than a wooden mock-up or something like that. But I don't like that. I love it, but the engine's just like growths on the wings. But there's me moaning again, you know. So we'll see what it says anyway. But we'll just constantly look about it. Everyone's like, you know, oh, amazing and all that kind of thing. And also my concern is, look, the windows don't go all the way back. And I've heard that, I don't know. I just don't know. We'll just have to see, you know. I wish it all the success and I hope it happens, just like Global Airlines, you know, with what they're doing. I hope it works. And, you know, they spent a lot of money so far by look, as you can see, using that lovely platform. Is that 3 engines it's got there? Very small, aren't they? Oh, no. Yeah, I know it's concept, but it is a concept aircraft, isn't it, really? I'm just looking at the because look, even an aeroplane like that, folks. This is my argument. Okay, if I was like, if I was at a, I mean, look, I'm just trying to see the bleeding thing. Why can't I pause it? I'm just looking at the wing engine, and then there's a mid engine as well. So there's 3 engines. Like, look. Now see the intake there, and there's an engine at the back in the middle as well. Okay, so. But these engines are all enclosed in a wing for supersonic flight. I can't see those. They're going to have to modify how the engines are attached to the wings. I think kind of like what they did with Concorde. Why don't they just kind of adopt the same kind of all that technology is easily available in terms of the shutters that they used to slow the air down, the airflow into the engines, because the Olympus engines on the Concorde couldn't take the air entering at the speed of sound or more, or only up to a certain speed. So they basically had these shutters, literally shutters that opened and closed to speed the airflow that's going into the engines. Otherwise, they'd stall. Very, very interesting, that, folks, that they managed to do that. And yet all the other manufacturers couldn't figure it out. And that's why the Russian SST also was a complete flop because they could only fly it on short routes, because it couldn't fly. They had to fly it permanently at full chat because they had no way of controlling the airflow in the engine. So they had to run it at full chat, which meant that they could only run it for a certain amount of times, otherwise certain amount of time and distance, otherwise the engines would blow up. Rohit Parkal. Yes, indeed. How many concept cars have made it to mainstream production? Yeah. I mean, there are sort of like, yes. Well, they have actually, but you know, when we talk about concept car, we talk about like in the old days when in the 1950s when they had our future car, you know, with those sort of like beautiful shapes and all that kind of crazy stuff. When they were still building things like Ford. Whatever. Anyway, so yeah, interesting. Just shows how advanced Concorde was. HGC saying, absolutely, mate, absolutely. It was a highly advanced piece of kit for its time. Aidan Campbell, Sinsheim in Germany has Concorde and Tu-144 next to each other. The only place in the world to see them both together. Yeah, indeed. It was a right old brute, the Tu-144, wasn't it? But basically, it was a complete failure. We beat them all to it. The English finally did something right. No. We basically, our designers during the conflicts in the Second World War, everybody's very, and the Americans as well, with and all the amazing scientists and physicists around the world who got their heads together and came up with all that. We were under a massive amount of pressure, weren't we? The world, you know, the Allies were very much under pressure to develop stuff very, very quickly in order to overcome the Schwarzers over there in Germany. But anyway, yeah, that's another story, isn't it? We are going to Perth, ladies and gentlemen. How long, Jilly? Should know it off by heart by now. How long we got? 16 days before we're off to Perth, folks. Another big long haul flight. Let me try and close all these bleeding ads. Of course, next week we've got Frankfurt and Schiphol, folks. That should be good. Should be good fun. Let me just show you this. This is interesting because there was a little bit of concern about the volume of traffic that we'll see in Perth, but Jilly brought it up because she wanted to stop listening to other people about Perth. Just listen to this, and read out all the names, all the aircraft that were coming into Perth: A380, 777s, A330s, 787s, etc. But Qatar go in there, don't they? And aren't we lucky because they're cancelling it? Perth dropped. Qatar Airways reduces Airbus A380 network to just 4 routes. Yes. However, it was already known that Perth would cease seeing Qatar Airways Super Jumbos from June 24th. So we're all right, mate. They'll still be flying in there. Hooray! So it doesn't matter anyway, because they'll still be using the 777-300 ER, 300 ERA passenger aircraft. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, folks. But Simple Flying, giving that information. But doesn't she look lovely there? Kind of, I don't know if that is a shot from, Steve Warner from Shutterstock. There we go. Where he's based, I don't know. But that may be from Australia. You never know. What? So we've done that. We've done boom. We're getting to the end, folks. Don't worry about it. So this is the story here, folks, about the hydrogen powered flights with Airbus. Touched on it just a little while ago, and here's the confirmation from Travel Weekly. Airbus to confirm delay to hydrogen powered flights. Now, what they're talking about there is the announcement expected on February 20th, when Airbus reports its results will set back hopes for the rapid development of hydrogen to fuel aircraft. Well, that's part of it. Basically, we're talking about hydrogen fuel cell technology, which is hydrogen as your liquid component to replace the jet the aviation fuel, and that is then mixed with air to create electricity, which then powers the engines. So it's very easy to come by, but in order to actually farm it, as in make it, and have storage facilities for it, is a huge grid, a global grid that needs to be created for hydrogen or for future hydrogen fuel cell technology. When other technology is more likely to come forward, which is like that open fan technology, etc. But also there's that big race, isn't there, to see whether they can get sustainable aviation fuel there quicker, or whether they can get the hydrogen fuel cell technology developed quick enough. But obviously the hydrogen fuel cell technology is only applicable to regional aircraft. You're not going to be able to use it on wide body jets. You're only going to be using, not even regional jets, to be honest with you. Well, sorry, 737, like short haul jets like the 737, A320, etc. You're just not going to be able to do it on. It's only going to be really applicable. I don't know why they're showing a picture of an A320 there, because it's only hydrogen power flights are only going to be for the likes of ATRs. Airbus have been developing an aircraft which is like 6 engines, but I think that's more likely to be towards the, what's going on there? That's likely to be more likely towards, let's just have a look here and see what he says. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, of course, EasyJet partnered with Rolls-Royce in testing the hydrogen to fuel a gas turbine engine in the US last year. Testing hydrogen to fuel a gas turbine engine. Okay, interesting. Hydrogen to fuel a gas. So using hydrogen to fuel a gas turbine engine. Okay. Oh well. Okay. That's something different then. This is not. EasyJet said it's committed to being at the forefront of the development of hydrogen combustion engine technology. Okay, so this isn't e-cell technology then. Okay. Blah blah blah. Revised roadmap estimates hydrogen is responsible for just 6% of net emissions reduction by 2050, down from 21%. Yeah, Airbus hydrogen project, christened Zero, had been expected to develop a 100-seat. Here we go. See, Airbus hydrogen project, christened Zero, had been expected to develop a 100-seat short-haul turboprop aircraft powered by either directly by hydrogen or by hybrid hydrogen electric fuel cells. That's what I was saying. So I was right. Let's just have a look here. Airbus hydrogen project. Okay, let's just copy that into there for a second. Wait a minute. It's all right. Don't worry. Okay. Airbus Zero. Okay, there you go. Let's show you this one then, shall we? Here it is here. So this is what I was talking about. Well, okay, it's not 6 engines. There is definitely a 6-engined Airbus aircraft. Maybe that's an all-electric, but there you go, folks. That's it. It's basically an ATR, but with hydrogen fuel cell technology. Hydrogen propulsion to power future aircraft. Yes, not all aircraft though. Zero concepts. Okay, interesting. Hold on a minute. Let me just have a look at that last one you said there. Okay, turboprop. I like that. The blended wing body. I like that. 2,000 nautical miles. It's not very long, is it? Okay, stop. Can't we pause it? Oh, we can pause it here. Right. Okay, wait for it to come around again. Okay, the turbofan variant of Zero, range 2,000 nautical miles, not too bad. 200 passengers, 2 hybrid hydrogen turbofan engines provide thrust. Okay, so hydrogen is being used as the propulsion, the propulsion propellant. Yes. I would have woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning like propellant. But that's okay. Fair enough. Okay, I like it. I like it. And then, of course, we've got this one coming up. Come on. That one there, which is the turboprop with 1,000 nautical miles. It's a lot, isn't it? 2 hybrid hydrogen turboprop engines. Again, hydrogen turboprop engines, which drive 8-blade propellers, providing thrust. Hybrid hydrogen. Okay. So nothing on the... that's a little bit misleading. And then we've got the blended wing body. I like this. Never going to see it in my lifetime, folks, but all the youngsters, come on. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I kind of like that. I dig that. And I tell you what, I wouldn't. I think maybe ARD should think about maybe get involved with one of those. But anyway, oh, were you seeing that? Oh, you weren't seeing that? Wait a minute. Was I showing you that? Were they seeing that? Jilly, can you just quickly have a look? Okay. So there's the turbofan. We're talking about, I'm sure I was showing them this. Range 2,000 nautical miles, 2 hybrid hydrogen turbofan engines. Okay. This is the one that's a little bit, oh no, that one there. This is the one that's a little bit confusing. Hybrid hydrogen. I thought they were, oh, they did. Okay, right. Well, I'm not going to talk about that anymore then. So there we go. That's interesting, isn't it? Where's that one gone? So here's an interesting thing, folks. Just a little bit of an update on what we did last week with those beautiful Comac C919 aircraft that we had displayed here from our friends at Aviation Retail Direct. Got a couple of lovely 1 to 100 scale Comac C919s in there. Very, very similar to an A220, but wide like an A320. So I initially thought that perhaps this might be a bit of a challenge or thrown at Airbus and potentially Boeing as well in terms of a competitor for the A220 and maybe even an advanced variant for the 737 or the A320 even. And then basically looking at all the numbers and figuring out what their output was forecasted to be, like 20 a year per supplier, per operator or something like that. It was like, well, it doesn't really seem to be much. What was that? Oh, it's only fireworks. But in terms of the output to me, it was like Airbus and Boeing and Embraer really don't have much to worry about. However, here it is, folks, in his own words. I'll show you it. Airbus CEO says China's Comac could become a serious rival and disrupt the duopoly with Boeing. Okay, so they've got a duopoly with Boeing. And they're saying now that it could become a triopoly, I think. Aircraft manufacturer could go from a duopoly to a potential triopoly, Airbus CEO said. Foray was asked about the prospect of China's Comac becoming a serious competitor. Comac is ramping up production of its 919, similar to the A320 family and Boeing 737 MAX. I think they're talking a little bit sort of like, ramping up production. 20 a year, mate, for each operator. However, they are saying that potentially He was asked about A320 family. Other aircraft manufacturers have tried to enter into this very competitive space in the past from other countries, not necessarily successfully, but I believe Comac is more likely to succeed, he said. He pointed to its privileged access to the Chinese market, which he said account for a fifth of global aircraft demand. Interesting. Foray added that this will also probably give them room to export to other countries when the product is mature. Isn't that lovely, folks? Isn't she lovely? But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Watch this space, I think, is the thing to say about that in terms of what's going to happen. Right. Okay. I think we're at the end of the news. How long did that take?
An hour and a half. I thought we were really fast.
Lummy neck. Okay, so we will get on to the main subject. Finally. But also with a little bit of luck. With a little bit of luck, we'll be done by midnight. But no. Interesting. Two things that happened when I was up at ARD the other week was, let me just come in here and see what you're looking at here. Was, first of all, someone said on the show a week or so ago that apparently ARD have got a 1/200 scale, a 1/400 scale model of the A350 freighter. Well, that was what got me a thinking. So next time we were up there, was it who brought it up to me? Someone of that young lad, didn't he? That young kid. Yeah. So the young kid who was up at the shop, he brought this up to me, and I was like, "Oh, blimey, yeah!" Someone told me about that. Anyway, I opened it up, and what old fella said that it was oh, what did he call it? What did he call it? Not a concept. Yeah, he called it. What did? Was it a concept aircraft and all that? And I was like, or concept model, I think he called it, a concept livery or something like the model. But I said, no. That's actually the final livery that they're going to be doing it in, because that was done by Entry, wasn't it, with school kids and all that kind of thing. And someone came up with that really cool design, and I really like it. However, what is interesting, it's a bit like having a double-headed fantasy livery. That's it. Who said that? ART. There we go. So yeah, but what is interesting, I kept saying, no, it's not a fantasy livery. He said, yes, it was, and I said, no, it's not. And anyway, I showed him the picture on Google, and then we stopped that conversation. But what is interesting is, you get bills like money bills, like a $5 bill or a $10 bill, and it's been printed on both sides with two heads or something like that, which is like a very odd one, and they're worth more money. But this is quite interesting because the A350 freighter, they've taken the door from the back and moved it up to the front, apparently for balance, for the reason of balance, which I don't really fully understand, because if you have a door at the front, right, obviously, and forget about the tail stand, okay, but if you have a door at the front, when the first piece of freight that you load is normally, you put it down there, then the next bit goes down there, then the next bit goes down there, and then the heavy bits go over the wing. They would have to do it in a way that the lightest components go in the back. But what if you had 20 ULDs all weighing the same amount? You need a tail stand. So I don't know why they've done that, because if you have the door at the back, right, and I know Airbus are probably like, mate, we know what we're doing, all right? But okay, you know what you're doing, I know. But the door at the back, if you start loading it, it's going to be the first one's going to be up there, isn't it? Which is perfect, because all the weight's over the front end of the aircraft, and you don't need to use a tail stand. Isn't that right? I don't know. Anyway, but I'm sure there's a reason why they've decided to do that. It's quite a big job moving it, but because they would have had to have redesigned literally on the drawings and all that for it. But anyway, a year. It's going to be another year before we see that A350 program. And let me just show you. Hold on a minute. Okay, there she is there. Let's just move this out of the way, shall we? Okay, there we go. So a new bit of tarmac. The diggers are around. I don't know. I think they've gone home. Oh yeah, it's Friday, isn't it? They've gone home. But anyway, there it is, folks. There it is. A great model. But what is interesting, look what's next to it. See that? Anyone got any ideas? Shut up. Don't say anything, ARD. I see why the tail stand would be needed. Spywalks. Sam Beck got the Coletta 777-300 ERSF as well, almost the same size as the A350 freighter. There we go, folks. And you know what? That can carry 10 tons more freight than that. Okay. Now, I think that the 777, I've just put all the other ones aside there, folks, so you can kind of see how freighters, the most popular freighters over the years. Of course, the best selling freighter or has got to have been the 777-200 freighter. You can see there with FedEx, the MD-11, which was I think were there any pure freighter MD-11s built? I'd imagine there probably were, but a lot of the FedEx and UPS MD-11s that you see flying these days are ex-passenger aircraft, namely Swissair and Lufthansa. Last load of Lufthansa jets went to FedEx, I know that. But a very popular aircraft, a very successful aircraft. It's a tri-holer, so in terms of its efficiency, it probably costs a little bit more to run. The 747, yeah, I mean, we're talking about, around about 90 tons of freight on the MD-11, probably around about the same for a 767 fully loaded. I don't know these numbers exactly, folks. Probably about 100 to 110 tons on the 747. Of course, that's a passenger to freight conversion that you can see there, or BDSF, I think it is. But BDEC, isn't it? I think it's BDEC. But do you like all my stuff around the airport, folks? Do you like it? Do you like it? It's pretty cool, isn't it? Look at the two little Trent 700 engines over there, which were torn off a Turkish A330. Of course, you got the museum down there, eh? Yeah. Look at that! Look at that! Look at it! Nice little control tower. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff. AN 124 is over in the hangar. But anyway,
You got to let it stop so that it'll focus.
Okay.
Yeah,
but there we go. There we go. Yeah, 124 on a giant telephone. Yeah, some hoardings and advertising over there. But yes, the MD-11, very popular, very successful aircraft, and of course FedEx having to keep those aircraft for a lot longer because again for the delay in aircraft production. And now the 777-200 is still in manufacture. You can still order one if you want to, but the 777-300 is no longer an option in terms of a passenger aircraft for obvious reasons, that they are putting all their efforts into the 777-9 program, and potentially beyond that will be, of course, the 777-8, the Dash 8, as they call it. Some classics there that we can see. Look there in the middle. You can see the DHL A300, probably, I'd imagine, other than obviously there are 737 freighters, but in terms of the large freighters, not 737s, ignoring those. In fact, there's a little lufty cargo jet there, just wheeling into position there. But a very popular aircraft. Lufthansa going back with the 737 Maxes. Another story. The A300, folks, probably the oldest on that apron there, I would imagine, but very popular. The 767, obviously, was and still is an extremely efficient and well-loved platform. Much the same in terms of its range and capabilities as the 767 and the A300 there. They're the A330 with MNG there. Look at that. You can't see. I don't think you can see, but that's a pure freighter, folks. She's got the bulbous. In fact, you can just about see that there. You see underneath the above the front landing gear, the nose gear there. Can you see that fairing there, just there above it there, which is to raise the aircraft, the front of the aircraft up, because the A330 does have a very extreme pitch to it, which I think is that 767. No, they have to be wired in, mate. They've got actual lights on them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've got actual lights on them. So I mean, I'd love to do it, but you've got to wire it all in, and there'd be leads everywhere and all that kind of thing. 757, folks, big favourite amongst a lot of people, of course. We love the 757, always will. Look at that beauty there. RB211's bolted on her. But the A330, just quickly going back to their MNG aircraft, very unpopular in terms of a freighter. Very few aircraft were ordered in terms of the A330 compared to the 767, etc., etc. But here's an interesting thing. We've discussed the A350, which is delayed for obvious reasons, of course. Probably, I'd imagine. I don't think that's going to be much down to the a Spirit. I don't think, but A350 in general delays. A350 passenger aircraft. What is interesting to me there, folks, is that the center that main forward section, the forward section of the A350 there, which is built by Spirit in the US and assembled in Saint Nazaire. Look how long it is. Look how long that section is. And of course, the delay, I would imagine, I'd imagine that because they're taking that out and moving the forward. Okay, let me just have a little look here. Let me just Google this. Why did Airbus change the position of the freight loading door from back to front? ? Go. Cargo doors for dedicated freighters aft or forward of the wing. They decided to put the cargo door behind the wing because the added structural weight of the door mechanism was beneficial for the angle of attack in cruise. No, they haven't. They've moved it from back to front. I may have misunderstood this, he's saying, but in the concept phase of the A320 P2F, for God's sake. Did I say A320? Okay, why did Airbus change the position of the freight loading doors from back to front on the... Didn't put the name of the bleed type of aircraft, did it? A350, ? Okay. Airbus did not actually change the position of the freight loading door on the A350 from back to front. On the A350 freighter variant, the cargo door is located at the rear of the aircraft, which is considered the standard placement for dedicated cargo planes, providing better stability during loading and unloading, unless, of course, you've got a 757 or a 767, and unloading and allowing for larger, heavier cargo to be loaded without risking tail tipping. There is no front cargo door on the A350 freighter. Interesting. Where did I hear about that? So it is staying in the back. I'm telling you, folks, please. I'm where did I hear that? I'm gonna have to find out where I heard that. Because I've been saying it for ages. A350. Let me just see. A350 freighter cargo door position. Let me just see if there's any old news on it. Airbus stated that the freighter's fuselage length is optimized to fall between the extended 350-1000 and the standard A350-900. Additionally, the aircraft is equipped with the largest main deck cargo door, ever installed on a commercial aircraft, on the left side of the rear fuselage. Did I dream it? I definitely read it. I wouldn't make that sort of thing up. Okay. Here's the interesting thing, folks. We're coming to the end. We're coming to the end. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, yeah, I got to go to bed. Cat snoring. There we go. Look at that, folks. Coletta have just received not long ago received the first of, I believe, 2. This has been going on since 2014, folks, as far as I'm aware. As far back as 2014, that these aircraft were. Let me just have a look here. La-di-da-di-da. Okay, look at that. Oh, yeah, got to show you this. Got to quickly show you this. Because she looks lovely, mate. She looks lovely. Share screen. Window. Okay, there we go. Isn't that beautiful, folks? Isn't that something else? A converted passenger to freight aircraft, which Coletta have been quite a believer in terms of their they've supported those sorts of programs for quite some time. The BDSF program with their 747-400 freighters, and the location that they are converted is in Israel. And I've looked it up. Apparently, it takes 6 months to convert a passenger to freight, and it takes approximately 7 months to build a new aircraft from the ground up in terms of assemble it somewhere like Toulouse, for example. So not a lot of difference. I think the A350 takes around about 7 months to assemble, and but there we go, folks. But what is really interesting, look at that. What is really interesting is that the 777 freighter can carry 10 tons more freight. I think I've got that right. Let me just double check my photos here, because I've got 6 to 10 aircraft per month on that one. Converting a Boeing 777 from a passenger aircraft to a freighter typically takes around 5 to 6 months, and that's IAI in Israel. Converting a passenger aircraft to a freighter typically takes around 5 to 6 months. Specializing in this process, and these guys, Israel Aerospace Industries, specializing in this process, and estimating around 150 days for the conversion of a 777-300 freighter. Now, what is interesting, folks, is here we are. The Airbus A350 is 232 feet 4 inches long. No, it was the difference in length. The 777 300 ER is 242 feet. 350 freighter is 232 feet. So obviously, the 777 option can carry more freight, and it makes you wonder, doesn't it, folks? It does make you wonder that with the option of having hundreds probably of 777s that are coming up to end of life in terms of their passenger usage, but then can then go on to be converted into the freighter. And the other thing as well, of course, is that the reason why they've gone with the 777 300 ER is because it's got the GE 90115B engine, which is the same on the 777 200 freighter. So therefore, operators who are currently running the 200 freighter will have the same engine technology, and the pilots will have to only go through a small amount of training in terms of sim time because of the length of the aircraft. That's really the length and width of it, of course, taxiing it around. Well, actually, no, the wingspan, I think, of the 777 300 is more or less the same as the 200. So it's just literally the length of the fuselage that they need to watch for. But there you go, folks. So it's a bit of a race now, isn't it? Because if these guys in Israel are able to ramp up their production, there's certainly no lack of aircraft available. Whereas Airbus obviously are in a position, and also Boeing are in a position where they, firstly, Boeing have to get the aircraft certified. We're a long way down the line. I think we're probably talking about another 5 years before the Dash 8 freighter is. Are you going? Before the Dash 8 freighter is operational, and the A350 freighter, yeah, definitely, she will be in production and flying a lot earlier than the 777-8 freighter. Most definitely. I think they'll have probably a good couple of years head start with the A350 freighter. However, the threat now is lease companies that have 777-300s available on their books are now probably finding that operators are probably saying, right, well, look, let's because we've got the Dash 8s on order, and it's probably going to be another 5 to 7 years before we get them. Why don't we just get hold of 4 or 5 777-300s and get them converted? Because in terms of cost of conversion of a 777 freighter from passenger, I don't know what that is in terms of purchasing the aircraft and getting it converted compared to getting a pure freighter from the manufacturers. That's one of those things that you've got to dial up and find out what the cost differentials would be. Yeah. Aaron Thomas, I am surprised that UPS did not get a 777. Well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Because obviously UPS still have a lot of very aging aircraft. The one thing with UPS, I will say, folks, is that they did spend a lot of money in getting their A300s converted from into glass cockpit, because I remember that all happening at Toulouse when the first one went down there. And we were kind of like, why is that? Why are they doing that then, I wonder? And it turns out that they were converting all of their A300s from analog to glass cockpits. So that's a big outlay. That's a lot of investment that they've got to see that aircraft pay back. So they're probably running those aircraft for as long as they flipping can. And also, of course, they've still got some MD-11s and 767s as well. But I think they're putting all of their belief in the 747-8s, which, do the big long haul stuff, the intercontinental stuff. And of course, they're going to be running them through till probably 2040, I would imagine, the 747-8s. But there we go, folks. That's the main sort of like feature, even though it only took a quarter of the time that the news did. But anyway, whatever. That's it. That's kind of it, folks. Oh, mine that. It's a little bit close, isn't it? But thanks everybody for tuning in. Hope you've enjoyed it. Oh, we've got somebody gifting some memberships there. Dillis has gifted 5 channel memberships. I've got 1 letter. Only got 1 this week. Oh, is it not? Is it other people done it? Squirrel? How many has he done?
I've got 2 from Squirrel and I've got 2 5s from Dylan.
So Dylan, 2 sets of 5, and Squirrel. Dillis. Dylan. Okay, one this week, folks. Just 1. Thanks. Postmark. Okay, let's have a look. No. Not going to write me a note or anything like that. Thanks for that. Oh, hold on. There's a note. So this is going to Mrs. Martin in Cheshire. Mrs. Martin, thank you so much. A nice little letter, look, isn't it nice? Hi, Jerry and Jilly. I'd be much appreciated if you could send me a couple of stickers for our lovely daughter who originally paid for my membership. We watch your show as often as we can and are looking forward to Perth next month as we went there visiting friends and family a while back. Many thanks, Gillian. Please, a signed photo would be good too. Well, the thing is, Gillian, we can't do that, but you can get a signed photo by going to the app. No.
It's under your perks, your membership perks.
Oh, under your membership perks. Yeah, you can see all the pictures, the different pictures. Ask for whichever one you want. I'll sign it and then we'll send it off to you or email it off to you. So, Gillian, if you're watching, that's the way to do it. And we will send some stickers to you. Thank you so much for and if you want a sticker, folks, you can get a sticker. That's not glue, by the way. That's the cat's thing. It's not me. It's not me nail varnish. It's the Feliwell for the cat. Feliwell. Yeah, it's me anti-nail biting stuff that you paint on your nails. You know what I mean? Remember that? Well, you don't because you didn't bite your nails. I don't know. But anyway, we've got that sticker, which is pretty cool. I call it brushed steel. We've got the OG sticker, which is the company logo. And we have got the funky 1970s style sticker, which is pretty cool as well. And we've got the one that with me shouting, "Easy, son," isn't it? Yeah. They're all here. Yeah, no, I've got funky ones. I've got loads of them. Hey? No, not big funky ones. No, there aren't. There's only the normal 1970s ones you're talking about, yeah? No. I didn't get any. Are you talking about 70 mil? Hey? No.
70 mil logo and funky.
Yeah.
And large of the metallic.
No. Got these ones as well. So, Mrs. Martin, thank you. Thank you, everybody who's got involved tonight. Appreciate it. And stay well rested and prepared for Sunday, because Sunday is going to be hopefully. All right. Okay. Well, we're definitely going to be on 2.7s anyway, folks. We're going to be 2.7 operations. Just give a little bit of an update on the flight sim, by the way, folks. We've got Craig coming over whilst I'm in. No, he's coming up Monday, isn't he? He's coming Monday. Yeah, but you will be. I will be on my flight to Germany. But Craig's coming here. Thanks, Craig, mate, if you're watching. He's coming to tune in the Thrustmaster throttle box and all the speed brake and gear up lever and all that kind of stuff, because you gotta basically tune the throttles, because I've been using them and they're very out of sync, as well as are the foot pedals as well. The brakes aren't working properly, so the rudder pedal, it's just everything's a little bit out of sync. But once I get that done, as soon as I get back from Germany, from Holland, I need to get on it and get myself up to a decent enough level to be able to taxi, because we're going to be showing you something very special during that stream on the 7th of March, folks. Put it down in your diaries. It's a Friday night. We're doing a special sim show with Johnny, with our dual seated sim. I've got 2 seats in there. We'll show you at some point. It's a little bit rough at the moment, but yeah, the stick as well. That's all got to be tuned in, as well as everything else, using Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, which is obviously completely new to a lot of people. So luckily for us, we got Craig coming up to get that all tuned for us, and I will be able to hopefully fly. I already have done, folks. I mean, the other day, before I drove up to London, I had a little flight out of Heathrow, because I'm quite familiar with the landmarks around there. Flew out over West London, did the turn, came in on 27, left, lined up, everything was fine. But then it all went pear-shaped, because the ruddles were all out of sync for when I landed for the braking. It all just went all bazooms up, as they say. But anyway, thank you, Jilly, who's big yawn over there. Thank you, Chachi. And thank you, everybody. Look after yourselves. We will see you on Chin Day. We'll see you on Sunday, folks. Look after yourselves, and look out for the download the app.